best thing about being a father, I would say, is my kids. They give me my strength to do what I need to do, and making them happy is a big part of my life.
It's one thing to be able to have your career and follow your dreams, but it's another thing to care for someone that's your own and be the person that they go to for everything.
Know that there's some people who love you unconditionally and doing stuff for them and making sure that they're happy and that they're taken care of and that they're provided for.
We just watching him grow and him being able to talk to me and me understanding what he's after and deciphering the little things that are nuances about who I am.
That you're their hero, and at this time you can't really do any wrong. All they want is to be fed, loved, and played with.
It expanded my perception of love. I never knew how much I can love until my son came.
Having your little one look like you and mom, and I love that about my son Vinny.
Both of my boys have a lot of my characteristics, and it's always interesting and very funny to watch them follow my characteristics. It's interesting.
My father taught me that your word means something. Your word is your bond, and my dad taught me the strength behind a man's word.
It's probably honesty, because if you can't communicate honestly, you're never gonna get your point across.
He's like, pay your bills. Make sure you pay your bills, you stay on time with your bills. He's like, but other than that, he's like, pay your bills, take care of your family. He's like, and you're gonna be good. And that still sits with me till this day.
Being a good provider, being a good leader, being a good role model, that's everything that he's taught me, and that's what I want to instill in my son.
It was to be a better man than he was. And the same thing I teach to my children, to be better men than me.
Respect for others, especially those who had less than we did. He was always someone who was looking out how to share, how to help somebody out.
Don't be afraid to walk away from a situation. And he would say, call me a punk, you can call me a skunk, but you can call me tomorrow.
The one thing he'd always tell me was, school is your life. School is your life. The school doesn't just mean the literal school. School is this thing called life. You learn every day. That's the greatest advice that I just realized becoming a dad.
My greatest Father's Day memory was me walking downstairs and there were bags packed. And it was a surprise trip. I didn't know where they were going, where they were taking me, and they surprised and took me out of town, and it was just fun.
My last Father's Day, because I not only had my son, but I had my daughter for the first year, and I think the more kids, more happiness.
Definitely, it was the first one, me being a father and being able to celebrate it and really realizing what this day is.
I think it all starts at the birth. I mean, that is really kind of a mind-blowing experience to watch the birth of a baby.
My oldest son, he was born the day after Father's Day. So we were in labor Father's Day evening. So that was one of the greatest moments for me.
The birth of my son, Simeon, it was just a tense moment, but it all came out perfectly.
The first time my kid says, I love you, Daddy. The first time I watch my kid walk. Those are memories that I hold very tight.
The last Father's Day that I had with my grandfather, it was my father, me, and my grandfather. And we just hung out, we just barbecued in the backyard of my grandfather's house. It was just a good time.
Being left alone with my son for the first time on Father's Day and having him fall asleep on my chest. It's gotta be the first time I was a father. So that very first year, we had everyone come to my house. That was a special one for me.
I had been spending some time, with my son, and I remember I was in my house running around, and I had went into another room, and I came back, and I come out, he had a gift for me. He's like, Dad, this is for you. And I opened it up, and it was a jersey. It was a New York Knicks jersey. And then the left side, it had an embroidery, which was Ronald J. Dukes Live Forever. And man, I saw that just it got me so emotional. It had been my first time that I had spent Father's Day without my pops. And then just for the fact that my son was so intelligent, to even know to get me something like that would mean so much to me, I felt like I did a really, really good thing, man. It's very important that we recognize fathers on a day like today and how important they are to the foundation of putting together a family. They're a backbone to the structure. Without them and the mother, we wouldn't be where we are. So, you know, happy Father's Day to all the fathers.